Well, good morning and good afternoon to everyone on the line. My name is Bill Yaman, Vice President of Sales and Business Development here at Imprev, and I'd like to welcome you to today's walkthrough of the new Imprev Marketing Center. I'm joined on the line by Stephen Schultz from our customer service organization, here to answer any questions that you might have that I'm not able to answer for you. As the moderator said, you're in listen-only mode since we've got a number of folks on the call. But if you do have questions as we go through the demonstration of the application, feel free to type those questions into the question box in the GoToMeeting status bar, and we'll get to those as we can. We should be able to finish the walkthrough in about 30 minutes with questions. Since the new application is so easy to use, it's actually pretty quick to do the demonstration. What I wanted to provide you with today is just, as I mentioned, a quick walkthrough of the new Imprev Marketing Center. As you will see either through your own account or through my screen share now, that we've made some pretty significant changes to the Imprev Marketing Center with an eye towards updating the whole look and feel of the application, but most importantly for you, our customer agents, making it much easier for you to find the marketing pieces that you're looking for, and then from that, a very stepwise approach in making it simple to create the marketing pieces that you need, and then from that, distribute them. We've also made it so that the application is much faster, so saving you time and energy to get the work done that you need to do to both market your properties as well as market your businesses. So again, starting with the application that you can see in front of you, this is the home page of the new Imprev Marketing Center. As you can see, we've eliminated a lot of the words associated with the Marketing Center, making it more visually driven so that you don't have to read a lot to get through the application, but you can simply use the photos and pictures to help guide you through the steps that are required to create the world-class marketing pieces that you can inside of the Marketing Center. There are really two key areas to the homepage of the Imprev Marketing Center. There's the top, which provides me visibility into the most recent projects that I've been working on. So if I'd been working on something yesterday and wanted to finalize it today, it would show up here as a most recent project. And then I've also got at the bottom of the screen the ability to find and locate all the different products and designs that are available to me, whether that is a flyer or brochure or a digital piece such as a single property website or a virtual tour. I will caution you that since I've got a mixed audience on the line today, that the number of products that you'll see in this bottom half of the screen on the home page actually will vary. So there may be some of you who are customers of ours that are licensed only for the Print Plus suite. For those customers, what you'll see here are our print-oriented products, that being flyers, brochures, walking cards, newsletters, greeting cards, etc. There may be those of you who are using our digital pieces as well with the virtual ad agency, and those of you will also see, in addition to those print pieces, things like the websites, slideshows, virtual tours, e-newsletters, etc. So again, customized to show exactly what it is that you've been licensed for. So I wanted to show you how to create a flyer in this new Marketing Center. Typically when I'm creating something new, I leave the home page and come into the Design tab. The Design tab, as you'll see up in the navigational bar in the top, is very similar to the Design Gallery that you're used to in the existing application. So let me click on that. And the Design Gallery, or the Design tab as it shows up, looks somewhat similar to the home page with a couple of exceptions. The top of the Design Gallery is now sort of top-of-mind designs, if you will. So here you can see the most recent designs that I've been working with. I've also got the capability to have some favorite designs. So let's say there's a design or set of designs that you use for every property. So you want to have those be highlighted as favorites so they're always available on this tab. A la what you would do in Google is you have a favorite website that you have in Google. Simply click that star, and that makes a particular design a favorite, and it'll always show up here in the Favorites Gallery. I've also got access to the most popular designs. These are as measured by usage across all of the agents using the Marketing Center, so you can see what others are finding to be valuable. And then there are featured designs. And for us, featured designs are typically going to be new designs that we've introduced over the last month or so. What's in here now are all new designs that have been made available through the new version of the Imprev Marketing Center. And in fact, we'll talk about these new designs as we go through the demonstration later on. So if there isn't a product or design that's up in the top of the Design Gallery, again, a recent, a favorite, a popular, or featured design, I can then come down to the bottom half of the Design Gallery, and again, similar to the home page, be able to access the world of designs that are available to me as grouped by product, again, by flyer, brochure, website, virtual tour, or we now have the ability to look at different products and designs based on task. So I've clicked on the task button. So now I can very easily find all of the items that might support a just sold initiative that I have or a personal promotion. So we can sort things based on those attributes. Or if I click on the occasion button, I've got a similar sort of look, but having all of the pieces in the Marketing Center sorted by occasion. So if I were doing something for the 4th of July coming up here, I'd be able to quickly find all the pieces that were 4th of July specific. I'm going to go back to the product tab, and from that, as I mentioned, I wanted to build a flyer for you in the new Marketing Center. I'm going to select flyers here, and I can either click on the icon or on the flyer word. And that'll take me now to a screen that allows me to select the flyer that I want to use, again, for the particular purpose that I have for promoting my business or promoting a property. One of the benefits that for years agents have said we have for them is we've got so many designs to choose from. One of the challenges that we've always had in the Marketing Center before that agents have told us, though, is that we've got so many designs to choose from. So what we've done in the new application is still provide that world of designs that are available, templates that are available for you to use, but we've given you the ability to filter them and search for them in ways that make it much easier to find exactly the right design that's going to meet the purpose at hand. So these filters, if you will, at the top allow me to take all of the flyers that are available to me and filter them based on different attributes. As you can see, I've got 21 pages of flyers at 8 flyers a page, 168 flyers available to me. That's a lot to choose from. But I know for the particular property that I'm working with now that I want something that I can use in the property box. So I'm going to use or look for only single-sided designs. So now I've got 9 pages of single-sided designs. And I happen to know that for this particular property, I've only got 5 photos to work with. So I'm only going to select those designs that support 5 photos. So now I've got the ability on 2 pages to look at exactly those flyers that are going to, again, meet the purposes that I have. There's other attributes that may come into play. That may be what task it's associated with, like just listed, or the design element, or particular themes. So I encourage you to play around with these different filters so you can use those to find, again, exactly the marketing piece that's going to meet the purpose that you have at hand. But I'm going to go back out into the design gallery and show you a couple other things in terms of searchability. I'm back in my design gallery. Let me, again, go back into flyers. And now if I want to search on a flyer, I can use the filters, as I mentioned a moment ago, but I've also got the ability to use this advanced search capabilities, again, to use free-form search to find what it is that I'm looking for. And let's say that I wanted to find all of the flyers or all of the pieces in the design gallery that in fact had brown as a primary color. I can start to type in brown, and you can see here that I get information about brochures, since I've only typed in BRO, or in terms of the product type of brochure, I could get access to that, or here's brown. So it anticipated what I was typing and gave me some hints as to what was available inside of the Design Center. If I click on brown, you can see that I can get access to now all of the different designs that have brown, again, as a primary design element. Once I've done that, I can now select a design. I wanted to show you, though, a class of design that is new with the design gallery. So I'm going to come back out into the design gallery one last time, and I'm going to do a show all here on the upper right-hand side of the design gallery. One of the new types of marketing pieces that we've introduced in this version of the Marketing Center that's available to everyone are marketing pieces called single property sales kits. What we've done with single property sales kits are take a flyer, a brochure, a postcard, and some number of those, and have them be designed with a consistent look and feel. So let me show you, for instance, this pure sales kit. I've got 6 pieces, again, flyer, brochure, and postcard that are designed the same. So I can use these if I'm marketing a particular property to have a consistent look and feel across all of the marketing pieces associated with that property. I've got another version in here that's called neutral. Again, consistency across all these pieces in this single property sales kit that are branded the same that I can use, again, to have a consistent look and feel for marketing a property. As you can see, we've got 2 sales kits now available in the Marketing Center. We'll be adding more over the coming weeks and months, so you'll have many more to choose from as a new style of design that we think are very exciting and, again, give you a consistency that we've not had before inside of the Marketing Center. So since I'm here and working with this neutral sales kit, I'm going to select the flyer associated with that and use that as an example of how I can build a flyer inside of the new Imprev Marketing Center. Once I select that, it gives me the opportunity to look at the flyer in greater detail as always. I could view the sample, but I'm going to go ahead and select this design because I know this is one that I want to use. Now you can see that I've moved from the design gallery into my projects tab, the project section of the Imprev Marketing Center. One of the things that we tried to do here was, again, provide you with visually the steps that you're going to have to take to complete creation of a flyer. So you can see we've got this roadmap up along the top that basically says to me there are 4 steps for completing this task, completing the creation of a flyer. We'll provide information about the flyer. We'll provide the photos for that flyer. We'll add the text, update the agent's information if necessary, and then be ready to go. As you know, whether I'm creating a flyer or a brochure or a single property website or a virtual tour, one of the great things about the Marketing Center is I use this same approach for everything that I'm making. So you'll see later on when I create a website that I'll have this same 4-step approach for creating a very different piece from a flyer. But this lets you know where you are in the process and what the steps are that are required. So the first step is to provide the information. So the name of my flyer, I'll just call it New Flyer 1. And I also then need to select a folder to put it in. Typically my folders are going to be associated with properties that I'm working on. I've got this 7 Sunnyside Drive property that I've already done some marketing materials for, so I'm going to put my new flyer in that project folder. And then once I've done that, I could add a project description here. I'm not going to do that in the interest of time. I can move on to my next step now, and I can move on in one of 2 ways. I can either hit Save and Continue, or I can use this right arrow button at the top of my roadmap. I'll do Save and Continue for now. And again, that will take me into the photo section of the flyer creation. As before with the photo assistant, I've now got a photo library that's available to me. Since I've been working on this property, you see that I've got photos that have already been uploaded into the project for 7 Sunnyside Drive. At this point, I have access to any of the photos from different projects that I have or project files, so I could choose photos from a different folder if I chose. Or I have the ability to look at stock photos or favorite photos. So I've got ability to find exactly the photos that are needed for creation of the flyer for this 7 Sunnyside Drive property. Even though I've got some photos that are already created, wanted to show you the upload process for adding photos because it's simpler than it was before. I can add photos from one of 2 places. I can simply add photos, which I'll do in a moment, from my desktop or laptop by clicking the Add New Photos button. We've also got a new function where we can integrate with Dropbox. For those of you who don't know, Dropbox is a online file system in the cloud where perhaps you're working with a professional photographer. They take photos, they can put them into Dropbox, you can then pull them down from Dropbox, and saves you from having to email around massive files that contain very large photos. As I mentioned, though, I'm going to add new photos from a file on my desktop. I'm going to go to my pictures, and I've got some photos here from, where are my home photos? There they are. Here's my 7 Sunnyside Drive photos. And again, I've got a flyer here that's got 3 photos in it, so I'm going to select the front of the home here. I'm going to select the kitchen because I'm pretty excited about the kitchen, and the backyard. So once I've selected those 3 photos for inclusion, I simply click Open. And we go out and download those very quickly and download them directly into the flyer. So here you can see the 3 photos that are now available inside of the flyer. So I'm going to close my photo library here. And as you can see, I've got this photo associated with photo 1, this photo, photo 2, and etc. Let me open up my layout to make sure these are in the right places. One of the nice things I like about the new Marketing Center is I can view this in a new full-size window. So here I can see the layout, and I can go back and forth between the layout and the Marketing Center to know exactly where the photos are. So I know that photo 1 is the large photo in the center, so I want that to be my main home photo. So all I have to do there is take this and drag it over, and it'll move it into that spot, crop the photo to make sure it fits into the space on the piece, and I'm ready to go. Quick note that, as always, we provide you with warnings if the images hasn't been cropped or if the image is of poor quality, so that you can make adjustments if necessary. I've got some poorer quality photos here that I probably should address. I won't do that now, but just so you know, that's what the little warning sign will mean for you. Now that I've got my photos laid in, I'm going to save and continue. And I've got to crop them again to fit in the space that's available on this particular flyer. And once that's done, it's moved me now from my photo step into my text phase. With text, as always, I can type in the text for this property. Or, as always, we've got the ability to use Phrase Assistant. Phrase Assistant is enabled by clicking on this Phrase Assistant button on the upper right-hand corner of the text box. And as always with the Phrase Assistant, I could use stock phrases that Imprev has provided, and I can look at phrases that will fit into the 32 characters that are available on this flyer and have a world of words to choose from if I've got writer's block. So this lovely light and bright home is going to work for me. I could further filter it down based on different characteristics and attributes, but this one for now is going to work for me. So I'll click on that, insert it, come down to my remark field, and again, with the Phrase Assistant, I can add in things that are either stock phrases that Imprev has or phrases that I've entered before into a marketing piece. And since I've been marketing this property, let me pull up the remark phrase that I typed in before for the brochure, and I can lay that in very quickly and easily through the Phrase Assistant. I can add my disclaimer, but let me just save and continue by clicking the right button here. Now I'm in my last step of the 4-step process for creating a flyer. I can add or adjust my agent information. If I were co-listing this with someone, I could add their information here. But this looks good for me, so I'm going to go ahead and click Next and go on. I can now preview the flyer. And again, as you guys know, if I'm not happy with the flyer as it looks today, I can make adjustments, but this actually looks pretty good to me, so I'm going to close that out. And then from this screen, I've got the ability to distribute the flyer. The most typical way that I might distribute a flyer is to print it. So I could download a standard PDF and print it at my desktop. I could download a commercial PDF for commercial printing. I can download a web image that will work on a website. Or, if I go back, I can print it through one of the commercial print partners that we have set up inside of the Imprev Marketing Center for you. Even though this is a print-oriented piece, there may be some digital ways that I want to distribute it. It may be to emailing it to my contacts, or it may be publishing it to the web, sharing it on Facebook, or tweeting a link. Lots of options for distributing this print piece digitally, which is available for anyone who's got the Print Plus suite available to them. So that's very quickly how I would go about in the new Imprev Marketing Center creating a flyer. Let me create a digital design for you that'll show you the power of the platform, in that the same way I'm going to create a property website is how I just created a flyer. We'll use the same mechanism. But before I show you how to create a single property website, let me show you what an end single property website looks like. Again, for those of you who are using the virtual ad agency or the digital products that we have as part of the Imprev Marketing Center, you've now got access to this new style of design. And a single property website is a very robust way to showcase a property, and oftentimes we'll see these used for higher end, more expensive properties. But it's augmented and somewhat different than a virtual tour in that you have the ability to scroll through all the different photos that are available in that single property website. I could look at them in terms of a thumbnail view and click on a specific one. Here's that great backyard again. But I've also got, in addition to the photos that are available, I've got the ability to provide additional information about the property through this information tab up along the top. I've got the ability to have an integrated Google map so the folks can see exactly where this property is in the city. I can also drop my little green man down into the Google map to see what the street view looks like. I can have an integrated video in this single property website. That video could be a video about the property. It could be a video about my business. It could be a video about the neighborhood, whatever you choose. I can add contact information about myself and my business. And I can also add more information. I can add information about anything really that I want to showcase about this property. It could be school information, community activities, sports information, and I'll show you how those are created when I create the single property website inside of the Marketing Center. So that's what a single property website looks like. Again, let me show you how I created that. I'm going to go back now to my Marketing Center. I'm going to go back into the Design Gallery. And from within the Design Gallery, again, for those of you who have access to our digital marketing pieces, you'll see we've got this website selection down here. These are the single property websites. In the interest of time, as opposed to building that from scratch, I'm going to go to one that I've already started to build for you. In fact, the one that I showed you up here for 741 Boylston. To do that, I'm going to go back to my Projects tab. Here I've got the most recent projects that I've been working on. Let me scroll forward. And here's that single property website. I'm going to pull that up. And let me edit it to show you what it takes to build a single property website. As we talked about, the same four-step process is employed here. Info, photos, text, and agent. I've got the name of the project. That's good. I can add, again, the photos about that particular property for the single property website. Single property websites are unique in that I've got what it looks like 12 different photos currently uploaded. I could add as many as 50. And again, as before, if I wanted to add some additional photos to my single property website, simply a matter of opening my photo library, finding the photo that I want to add, and simply dragging that down from the photo library, cropping it, and I'm ready to go. Once I've completed adding the photos to the single property website, I'm going to move along to the next step and add the text. Because a single property website has a lot more information in it than a flyer or a brochure might, the text fields, there's a few more fields, the text page is a few more fields that you have to fill out. You have to add the information that's going to be on the info page. And again, as a reminder, the info page is this page tab here in the single property website. So I need to add the text that will be populated here. So I simply do that in these two text boxes here in the single property website. I also want to add in the full address for the property. This enables the Google Maps to work. If I wanted to have the integrated video, I can add the URL for the video, either Vimeo or YouTube. If I decide I don't want a video and don't fill anything in here, that video tab simply won't show up in the single property website. I've got the ability to add the information and remark on my contact page. And again, reminder, the contact page, this is simply the text that will go here. That's typically text that I'd have about my brokerage firm. I can add additional social media information. And then finally, I can add the information that's going to show up in this More tab. So here I've got schools is the name of the tab. And here's the URL that goes out to the school district information. Here's community activities. Here's sports. These are completely configured and customized by you by simply adding the name of what the tab will be and pointing to a URL that provides that information. Very powerful. And then finally, I get down to the point where I can start to add the captions associated with each of the photos. Those will show up at the bottom of each of the photo pages. Once I've filled out all that information, let me scroll back to the top. Again, click my right arrow button to go to the next page. As before, I could update my agent information. Looks good to me, though. And I'm going to finalize the creation of my single property website. And I do get a reminder, since I've hosted this before, since I've made changes to it, if I want those changes to be reflected, I do need to rehost it. And I'll show you how to rehost that in a moment. I'm going to click OK. Now I'm back to my distribution page. To rehost the single property website, all I need to do is click this Publish to Web button, and that will bring me up to a screen where I get the URL for this website, and I can simply copy and paste that URL into an email. I can copy and paste it to be linked from my website. I can share it on Facebook. I can tweet a link to it. I've got a lot of different ways to distribute that new style of marketing piece, the single property website. Again, available as a new marketing piece to anyone who's using our digital marketing packages. So that's the creation of a flyer, a single property website. I've showed you the new single property sales kits and where those can be found in the Imprev Marketing Center. That gives you a sense of how to build, create, distribute, find pieces from the Marketing Center. The last thing that I wanted to show is the contact section. As before with contacts, I can either have individuals that I can add and manage inside of my address book. If I wanted to add a new contact, I could very easily do that by typing in the information. If I come back to my contact main page, though, I've also got the ability to manage groups. So of all the individuals that are in my address book, I can have groups of them available. As you can see here, I like to group my prospects by their interest areas. So I've got some prospects that are real estate investors, so I'm going to communicate them with information that's appropriate to them. I've got some that are interested moving to rent to own. I've got some seller prospects. So I've got my database really defined in groups based on the demographic of the individuals that I'm speaking with. So this is and groups and individuals that have already been set up. I wanted to show you very quickly what it would take though if I've got some additional contacts that I wanted to import into the address book. And that may be contacts that I've got in Outlook or in a Gmail or in a CRM application or simply in a spreadsheet that I'm managing. Very easy to take that information. I'd first want to export it from what tool it's in today, so export it from Gmail or from Outlook. Once I've got it exported into a format like an Excel spreadsheet or a CSV file, then it's simply a matter of clicking the Import Contacts button. I can add a new group here because I want this to be a new group of individuals, and I'll call that new group because I'm very creative in how I name things. I'll add that group. Once I've added the group, I can select who gets uploaded to it. And again, as before, as I did with the photos, I can either upload from Dropbox or from my desktop. I'm going to do it from my desktop. Click Upload. I know that my documents here, I've got a file. I've got some demo contacts. And here's the demo contact I want to import. Once I select that file, it takes me to the screen that allows me to map the fields between what's in my spreadsheet and how the Imprev Marketing Center thinks about contacts. So there's really two steps to mapping fields. The first is it asks me in this row here, is this a contact? This is the first row of my spreadsheet where I have first name, last name. Is this a contact? No, that's my header. I'm going to say no, that's not a contact. And then it's asking me, well, how about Jane, Joe, and Rodney? What does that represent in your spreadsheet? Well, that represents first name. How about this? Well, that's the last name column. And then this is my email. And then I can go on and add address information and whatnot, depending on what I've got in my spreadsheet. But these are the key information. So I'm going to stick with first name, last name, and email address. I'll go next. Now I've got a confirmation email or confirmation information. 4 new contacts will be created. Nothing will be updated, so it didn't update any information about my existing contacts. But I had 2 errors. So let me view the errors to see what that was all about. So it's telling me that I actually had Jane Doe, Jane D, actually twice in my spreadsheet with the same email address and won't add her twice. So it's just letting me know that I've got a duplicate and it'll just add it once. That's okay with me, so I'm going to continue. And now it's told me that I've got my 4 new contacts that have been created, and I can see them here and see that they're part of this group called New Group. And so now when I go back and I look at my groups, I can modify information about it or manage the groups over here on the left. I can see that new group that I've created with those 4 new contacts. So with that, that gives you a sense of what the new Imprev Marketing Center is all about. I haven't received any questions yet. If you do have any questions, feel free to start typing those in now, again, in that questions box as part of the GoToWebinar Management Console. As you're typing in those questions, 2 things I additionally wanted to point out. If you get stuck in anything, note the Get Support button over here. Within Get Support, we've got some great frequently asked questions that have been developed that really will step you exactly through what you need to accomplish any task. For example, importing contacts that we just went through. If I search on that, I get the FAQs exactly aligned to how do I import contacts from a file stored on my Dropbox account. So it takes me to just the FAQ that I need. The other thing I'll point out to you as you're typing in your questions is for some of you, there may be some additional capabilities that you see this morning, this afternoon, or in the future. We've got the notion of a store now inside of the Imprev Marketing Center. If I click on that Premium Enhancements in the upper right-hand corner, I've got the ability to purchase different marketing pieces from inside the marketing store. So again, if I were Print Plus and I wanted to upgrade to Virtual Ad Agency, I could do that here. Or if I wanted to do some additional email marketing, for instance, be able to have some additional emails that I'm going to send per month where I can track emails in terms of opens, unsubscribes, bounces, etc. I could purchase that email marketing package here directly just by entering my credit card information. So we've made it easier to upgrade and update the Imprev Marketing Center to make it exactly what you need. So I'm showing we're at 1/2 the hour. At this point, I've not received any questions. I must have been crystal clear in my discussion of the Imprev Marketing Center this morning. Actually, I think that's because the new Marketing Center is so intuitive, it just makes sense as I step through it. So I am going to end the webinar now. If you do start to get in and have any questions, feel free to use that FAQs. But as always, we're here from a support standpoint. Our support line is staffed from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. Pacific time, Monday through Friday. Feel free to give us a call if we can do anything to help. Again, thanks for participating. I did just get a quick question from one of our participants. Is there a user manual? You know, there is not a user manual. The Get Support button over here is a way to have a user manual that's electronic. So it's searchable in a much easier way than having a user manual. So I'd encourage you to explore the Get Support button if you have questions about how to do anything inside of the Marketing Center. All right, so with that, I'm going to end our session. I appreciate everyone joining us today. And again, if you have any questions or comments about the Imprev marketing, feel free to reach out to us at support@imprev.com. Thanks very much. Bye-bye.